fandom. Anyway, I would like to, can we welcome CJ Monias?
Thank you. How's it going, everybody? Give it up for my babysitter. I am native, I am indigenous. They only have me here for tax purposes. No, actually, I'm here to do the land acknowledgement. Just want to acknowledge that I love what you guys did with the place. Hell yeah. No, being indigenous, being native, I have people say mean things to me sometimes. I had somebody come up to me one time, they're like, hey you're poor, you own a teepee. First of all, that's a bit much. I don't own a teepee, I rent. I don't have teepee home ownership money yet. I do come from a reserve, because that's where you put us, But it's a small town. It's like a 16-hour drive from here. But I love coming to the city. I get jealous because you guys get to use the apps when you guys date. Like Tinder. I come from a small town. I tried using Tinder there. There's only 4 people on it. All my aunts. I'm still swiping right on all of them. Sending super likes. No, but they have dating on Facebook now. You guys see that? They have Facebook dating. First of all, I don't want to date the Facebook version of you, okay? I want to date the Craigslist version of you. But there's this feature on Facebook dating called friendship, isn't that a bit sad, looking for friends like you would do on Tinder, And how I found out about the friendship feature is that if you keep swiping left enough, eventually it'll ask you like, hey, not finding what you're looking for? Why not try friendship? I was like, hell yeah, I could try fucking some friends instead. No, but I have people ask me weird questions being indigenous sometimes. I had somebody ask me if I can communicate with animals. I can talk to cougars. Where the cougar's at, I can even track them down too, that tastes like a lot of vodka. Tastes like Metamucil. She has high blood pressure, she's nearby. East. We gotta head east? No, she has a yeast infection. I'm designing this app that tells you when rich people are out of their home so you can go inside their house and rob them. It's called Airbnb. Is it just me or is Wikipedia slowly becoming a crackhead, Every time I go on Wikipedia, they're like, hey, you got $2.75 to give to Wikipedia, You got $15 to give to Wikipedia, There's women on OnlyFans making more than Wikipedia right now, I'm on Wikipedia, you want this $15, you gotta start showing me some feet, Call it Wikipedia. Do we have any weed smokers in the house? They will smoke weed? Oh yeah. Remember it used to be scary buying weed, The whole weed buying experience changed after they legalized it back in 2018. But remember but now you just go to the Apple store of weed pretty much. Got these cute girl drug dealers now. They're like, oh, this weed right here is a low mid hybrid. It's a 29% THC. It smells very earthy and pungent, and it's also very good for your aura, But before, when you get it from the drug dealer, he'd be like, yo, this weed right here, it'll kill you. Smells like a skunk's asshole. But also it's good for your aura. I do have a daughter. My daughter's 11 years old. She's always on social media now. She's always on TikTok and stuff like that. But she's starting to talk back to me. She's trying to be clever and stuff. She says mean things to me. But the other day she told me that Tupac was overrated. Call back to Tupac. But I didn't know how to react to that. I didn't know how to do, I didn't know what to do. So what I did was I reported her TikTok account. no more doing weird dances and calling me a skibbity, you know, whatever that means. No, but my daughter, she knows that I do stand-up. She knows I do stand-up comedy. Like, the other day, she was like, "Hey, Dad, I have a joke for you to tell on stage." And I was like, "What kind of joke is that?" And she said, "What do you need to wear when you sneeze?" And I was like, "What?" And she says, "A hat and a shoe." A hat, shoe. She also wrote the yeast infection joke, by the way. You know, sometimes when I'm scrolling online, you know, I see people like post motivational memes. You guys see motivational memes? Like when people use icebergs as a metaphor for success. You guys see that one? When was the last time an iceberg was successful at something? 1912. But you know, sometimes I see people post motivational selfies too. You know, but it gets confusing because you know, like they'll post it in the washroom and they'll put a caption there. You know, but it gets confusing because it's in the washroom. Like I seen this girl one time, she posted a selfie with a caption. You know, it's like sometimes when it gets hard, you gotta keep on pushing. Or I saw this other one, it was like, you know, when it gets messy, you just gotta clean yourself up and get up. And I'm like, and then this other one was like, you gotta shed blood, sweat, and tears. I'm like, I think you gotta go see a doctor. But yeah, you know, I started dating freaky women now. You know, like I ended up, the other day I was on a date with this girl, you know, we ended up in bed. And, you know, she wanted me to pull her hair while we were having sex. But she forgot she was wearing a wig. I thought I scalped her. I was like, I didn't know we did that still, you know. But, you know, they like it when you dirty talk them during sex. You know, they like it when you say things like, "Oh, whose pussy is this?" I like to say, "Whose land is this?" And they're like, "Rightfully yours," you know. I don't even ejaculate, I just shed a single tear. Anyway, that's my time. Thanks for having me, everybody. Give it up for your host, Natalie.